reason you're here is that probably you are wondering about buying one of these three cameras: Canon 70D, Canon 700D or Sony Alpha 6000. Mirrorless, interchangeable lens camera or perhaps a classic Canon? To your luck, I have already made the choice, and please feel welcome the opportunity to introduce you to my presentation and comparisons. At a first glance, we shall analyze the result of the portrait. The result of the portrait is the color depth of the color specified by value bits. 22 bits are relatively very good, and the differences between 22 and 23 are subtle. This subtlety, which is mainly manifested in richer color reproduction, and is the most important while shooting portraits. Sony has 24.1 bits, Canon 70D 22.5 bits, and Canon 700D ends with a score of 21.1 bits. The range of tone, or the dynamic range of the camera sensor. Sony classified on the 13.1 EVEs, Canon 70D has a 11.6 EVEs, and Canon 700D 11.2 EVEs. Low light ISO, which is the theoretical value at which the camera takes pictures in line. The theoretical because in my practice can differ. Sony's ISO 1347, Canon's 70D 926 and Canon 700D 681. It's time for megapixels, which is a quantity describing the number of elementary points of the matrix. Sony has 24.3 megapixels, Canon 70D 20.14 megapixels and Canon 700 18.1 megapixels. The prefix mega means 1 million pixels mapped by the metric. Therefore, when a large number of megapixels is required, the large matrix must correspond. For instance, in a small sensors in cell phones, pixels like to override. The size of the matrix alpha is 15.3 per 23.5 mm, 15 per 22.5 in 70D, and 700D Canon has 14.9 per 22.3 mm. Color depth is specified by the unit called bits per pixel or BPP. Sony has 12, 70D and 700D have 14. For matte movies, Sony can shoot video at 60 frames per second. It's worth knowing that it records in a format Full HD codec MPEG-4 H.264. 70D and 700D record at a speed of 30 frames per second, format MIOV H.264 and also in Full HD. None of these cameras has function of shooting in 4K. Ports. Alpha has input HDMI, USB and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi if it will load a free application. Canon 70D has USB and HDMI and Canon 700D AV, HDMI and USB. Let us now move to the key issue. How much you have to pay for these monsters of photography? The price of Alpha is roughly $625, Canon 70D 887 and 700D you can buy for roughly $525. As we can see in all these comparisons, Alpha wins. Mirrorless, interchangeable lens camera. In addition, it has a zebra and picking. But don't be deceived. The picture is made by the man who handles the camera, so each of these devices is good in different scenarios. If you're going with your son to fish and plan to shoot flash to rodents that are eating your bait, or you just started the adventure with photography, go with Canon 700. If you plan to do vlogging and depend on a better image and possibilities, buy Canon 70. If you're thinking about mobility and good quality at a good price, by Sony Alfa 6000. Beneath the film, you will find links to sources and several other curiosities. It's almost all for today. Let me give you the last thing. Present the tested cameras.